Jack and Sonia have just finished performing surgery on a patient. In Jack's office, Sonia can't help but gush about how different media outlets will make their medical milestone a headline. Jack gives credit to Sonia for her contributions. He always gives credit where it's due. Jack believes Sonia is ready to climb the ladder. He's making her lead the team for the upcoming larynx transplant at the hospital. Sonia feels unsure, but Jack is confident she can handle it. He is a huge believer in Sonia's passion and skills. Beatrice, a young American woman, is driving when her phone rings. It's Madison, her mom, launching into another sermon about how Beatrice should live her life. Beatrice just wants a break from all the talk. Traveling away for a while sounds appealing, but Madison has other plans. Her calls for Beatrice to work for her are not appreciated. Beatrice wants a life away from her mom's business. Sonia is at a bar with her friend Ariana. The ladies celebrate Sonia's milestone until a stranger walks over to chat. The stranger tries to be funny, but his jokes constantly fly over their heads. After many unsuccessful attempts to impress them, the ladies leave, dissatisfied. At home, the suggested dating site intrigues them. Their moms are pressuring them to bring a man home for marriage. Ariana prefers an Indian man, but Sonia is indifferent. Ariana lists the pros of an Indian woman marrying an Indian man. Cultural differences play a huge role in her thinking. The food, the routines. These are just a few of her reasons. At the hospital, Jack is preparing Sonia to face the press. Sonia would rather avoid the media, but they need the buzz about the larynx transplant. A staff member rushes in with a mobile phone. The call is for Sonia. She's told her father, Mr. Mehta, has suffered a stroke. Sonia is at the airport. She'll be home for the first time in 5 years. Beatrice's plan to travel to a faraway place is finally in motion. She stresses everyone out with her endless inquiries. Having no certain destination is daunting. Limited funds make it even more so. The ticket seller offers many options, but her cash at hand only allows her to settle for Mumbai, the same place Sonia is headed. Ariana goes on her first date from the dating website. Her mom had created the profile for her. Prem, a young, handsome man, walks up to her, exuding a certain charm. His constant flattery gets to Ariana. He boasts about having a green card, implying it's a major advantage for anyone who marries him. His weird questions and responses make Ariana uneasy, but sniffing her is what irks her the most. She declares she's uncomfortable, admitting she only came to please her mom. Before long, Ariana has had enough and leaves. Sonia is welcomed at the airport by Rajan, her brother. The pleasantries don't interest her. She just wants to see her dad. At home, Sonia dashes into her dad's room and finds him lifting light weights. It seems miraculous that he can lift weights after suffering a stroke. No one answers her questions about it. Everyone is just pleased to see her. They all have different concerns. Mr. Mehta is excited about watching a new Bollywood movie with her later. Mrs. Mehta is focused on having the family together for dinner. Confronting her mom changes nothing. Sonia is reminded that lying to her was the only way to get her home. Over dinner, Sonia expresses her frustration at being tricked. Rajan spills the beans. They want her to get married. Unable to take it, Sonia storms out of the dining area. Mrs. Mehta follows her into her room, expressing concern that Mr. Mehta might suffer another stroke. She wants him to witness Sonia's marriage, just in case. Sonia understands and promises to try her best. Mrs. Mehta reveals she already has a plan. Sonia's first date is arranged. On her first date, Sonia meets a stranger at home. He immediately lays out his conditions for marriage. No male friends and proficiency in certain Indian dishes, among other things. He parades himself as a trophy, boasting that past dates offered huge incentives to marry him. He asks if Sonia has a green card. Without hesitation, Sonia asks him to leave. He does, in shame. Meanwhile, Beatrice is still finding her way around Mumbai. The car ride is chaotic. Madison calls during a particularly hectic moment. The car crashes while the driver laughs it off, vexing Madison. She pleads with Beatrice to stop the games and come work for her, but Beatrice remains adamant. Beatrice's purchase stalls when a vendor tells her they don't accept foreign currency. Sonia steps in to help. She recalls seeing Beatrice at the airport and shows a little empathy. Over drinks, Sonia and Beatrice chat, sharing their dilemmas with their moms. For Beatrice, it's also her first time leaving the town she was born in. Her mom's ploy to pull her away from teaching breaks her. It's all she knows. Beatrice considers finding a teaching job in Mumbai for now. Sonia offers to link her up with Paramjeet, Rajan's friend, who is also a teacher. Kavi, the handsome bartender, attends to the ladies. He doubles as an entertainer, taking the stage to perform songs. Kavi returns, and Beatrice immediately tries to matchmake Sonia with him. Sonia fancies the idea, and even asks Kavi to have dinner with her family that evening. Unfortunately, Kavi is booked, but he hands Sonia a piece of paper with his contact information. Sonia excuses herself, and Hari approaches Beatrice. He introduces himself as a fortune teller and starts making claims about what her future should look like. Hari seems to take a liking to Beatrice right away. Their conversation is cut short when Sonia calls for them to leave. Back home, Mrs. Mehta confronts Mr. Mehta about his nonchalant attitude towards Sonia. She expects him to support her in steering Sonia towards what she believes is the right path. Mr. Mehta, however, believes Sonia should make her own choices, even if that means not marrying an Indian. Mrs. Mehta disagrees, offering flimsy reasons why Sonia must marry within their culture. Sonia goes on another date. This time, her date has thoroughly researched her, even memorizing her credit card and security numbers. He knows Sonia's daily routine back in the States, which freaks her out. The final straw is when he mentions knowing the size of her underwear and her favorite brand. Sonia is creeped out and refuses to continue with such a bizarre person. Meanwhile, Beatrice visits a local school. During the tour, she witnesses a teacher flogging some pupils. Despite understanding the cultural context, she's strongly against it. Another evening arrives, and Sonia meets with Kavi again. Kavi stands out from the other men she has met, and they excitedly plan to meet the next day. Sonia goes on yet another unfortunate date. Her date drinks himself into a stupor and suggests they have sex in his car right away. Furious, Sonia walks out, leaving him to his drunken ramblings. Back at home, Sonia and her mom get into a heated argument. Sonia is fed up with the string of terrible dates her mom has arranged and refuses to go on anymore. Mrs. Mehta tries to guilt-trip her, but Sonia doesn't budge. Their argument is interrupted by a crackling noise upstairs. It's Mr. Mehta. Fortunately, he hasn't suffered another stroke. He simply slipped. Sonia's next date is with a diminutive man who leaves in embarrassment after a stranger mistakes him for Sonia's son. As Sonia and Kavi continue to meet frequently, they discuss Kavi's passion for singing. He keeps getting rejected by recording companies because he doesn't sing conventional Bollywood music. Sonia suggests he'd do well in America. Kavi shares his desire to explore opportunities in the USA, but explains he's tied down by responsibilities in Mumbai. Sonia accompanies Kavi home and meets Karishma, his niece. Karishma's parents perished in a car crash that also left her with impaired speech. Kavi is now her guardian. Mr. Mehta avoids doctors, but Sonia insists on a checkup. They visit Dr. Anil, Mrs. Mehta's brother. Dr. Anil isn't pleased with Mr. Mehta's health condition. During the visit, Dr. Khanna, a visiting doctor from UCLA, enters. Seizing the opportunity, Dr. Anil and Mr. Mehta try to matchmake Dr. Khanna with Sonia. They leave the two alone to get acquainted. However, the soft-spoken Dr. Khanna doesn't stay long, as he has other commitments. During family time, Mrs. Mehta quizzes Sonia about Dr. Khanna, her new prospective partner. Sonia has only met him once, but her parents are already open to the idea of marriage. Mrs. Mehta's persistence grows dramatic until Sonia reluctantly agrees to meet Khanna again. Meanwhile, Sonia is upset by her father's smoking habit, wondering why he won't give up something that jeopardizes his health. Sonia and Khanna go on a date, and their differences quickly become apparent. Before the wine even arrives, Khanna declares his intention to marry immediately. It's what his parents want. He suggests a marriage without commitment, where they live separate lives while fulfilling their family's expectations. Khanna prioritizes his job over marriage, but Sonia refuses to settle for a loveless, commitment-free relationship. Disheartened, she leaves the date early. Over the phone, Jack informs Sonia that they've found a patient for the surgery. He's already booked her flight. She's needed back in LA as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Kavi has planned a surprise for Sonia. As soon as she arrives, they can't keep their hands off each other, sharing an intense kiss that only stops when Karishma walks in. Sonia had arrived early to help in the kitchen. Kavi is throwing a party to celebrate securing a surgery for Karishma, but neither he nor Sonia knows the full picture. Kavi isn't aware that Sonia is the lead doctor, and Sonia doesn't realize that Karishma is the patient. This realization gives Sonia mixed feelings, and she inadvertently sends the wrong signals to Kavi. She tries to dissuade him from proceeding with the surgery, citing low success rates. Kavi questions why Sonia, a larynx surgeon, would discourage someone from surgery. Sonia's position is delicate. She can't perform at her best with personal emotions involved. Kavi accuses her of running from responsibility. Hurt, Sonia shreds the surprise flight tickets she had bought for Kavi and Karishma before leaving. Back in the USA, Sonia prepares for the surgery. At a press conference, her nervousness leaves her speechless, but Jack steps in, saving the moment. The surgery itself is completed, but it's not successful. Kavi breaks the sad news to Karishma, but they manage to cheer each other up despite the disappointment. On a boat cruise with Ariana, Sonia reflects on her situation and decides that pleasing her parents is her top priority. She confides in Ariana about her plan to marry Kana, for her parents' sake. Sonia meets Kana and accepts his offer. Even before the wine arrives, she signs the prenup, sealing their agreement. It's Sonia and Kana's wedding day. Both families are in LA for the grand occasion. Beatrice, still hopeful about Kavi and Sonia, calls Kavi and persuades him to come to the venue with Karishma. Before the ceremony, Mr. Mehta encourages Sonia to follow her heart and be true to herself, using her free will. The party begins, with Ariana leading a vibrant dance performance to Indian music. Beatrice's plan is in motion. Kavi and Karishma quietly slip into the venue and find a seat among the guests. Sonia soon spots them. Her father's words about free will echo in her mind. She realizes that marrying Kana would make her unhappy, and she's only doing it to please her parents. Determined to escape that fate, she walks over to Kavi and Karishma. Choosing her own happiness, Sonia takes their hands, and they run out of the venue together. The guests are left worried and confused, while Kana wonders why she broke their deal. Sonia doesn't mind. She smiles as they drive off, finally embracing the life she truly wants, perhaps one leading to a happily ever after.